Hey everyone, welcome back to Kitchen Chaos. Today is a fun one. We're making ravioli from scratch, and we are going to be using a charred butternut squash filling. We're gonna get started with the filling. So what you'll need for this is butternut squash, garlic, and rosemary. We'll go ahead and preheat the oven to about 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we're gonna get to chop in our squash. So here's the thing, if you don't want to chop this big old squash, you don't have to, okay? You can also buy the pre-chopped or pre-diced butternut squash at your local grocery store as well. Then once you're done with chopping your squash, or just take your pre-chopped squash, toss all that into a bowl, and then we're gonna drizzle that with some olive oil and then your garlic. I used some pre-minced garlic here. Then we're gonna sprinkle some salt and some black pepper in there. Then we're gonna prep our rosemary. Just gonna pull that off of its stem and we're gonna chop that up. And then we're gonna toss all of that together to combine. Then we're gonna spread it on a baking sheet, and then we're gonna throw it in the oven and forget about it. Don't actually forget about it, but you know, cook it until it starts getting a little color to it, a little brown, okay? So here I did char it a little bit, bring out a lot of those natural sweetnesses and caramelize some of those natural sugars. Then we're gonna throw the roasted squash into a food processor. I'm throwing in a little bit of cheese blend. You can use any other kind of blend of cheeses you would like here. You can also add a splash of milk or some cream if you would like, and then go ahead and process or blend that together. You know, you want a fairly smooth consistency. It doesn't need to be super smooth, but ensure that you get some of all the big lumps out of it so that it's easier to kind of pipe into the ravioli dough. Once you're happy with the filling, it's time to move on to making the pasta dough. Measure out about 2 cups of flour. That's about 240 grams. Dump it out onto your counter and form a small pile. Using your hands, create a well in the flour. Next, in a small bowl, prep 4 eggs. These are whole eggs. One at a time, pour the eggs into the well and then mix to incorporate the flour. Do this pretty slowly so you don't get lumps. Once all the eggs are incorporated, start shaping the dough into a ball. This may take a little bit of time. Knead the dough until it's a smooth ball, and finally wrap the dough in plastic wrap and let it sit for about 30 to 60 minutes. Once your dough has taken a little nap, just cut your dough into quarters or so. And then I want you to flatten out each dough wedge with a rolling pin or with your hand. It is time to bust out your pasta maker to start the rolling process. So set your pasta machine to its widest setting. Take 1/4 of the dough that you've already flattened and run that through the pasta machine about 2 or 3 times. After about the 3rd time, adjust your pasta machine to the next setting. That's the next smaller setting down, and feed your dough through there another 2 or 3 times. Don't forget, you might need to add a little bit of flour so it doesn't stick. Repeat this process and continue to thin the dough until it gets very thin and long, until you have these nice, beautiful long sheets. Take another 1/4 of the dough and do it all again. By the end of the process, you should have 2 long, thin sheets of dough. You can cut these down into more manageable sheets if you need to. Now we begin to assemble. Take your butternut squash filling, place a small amount of the filling down the length of one of those sheets. Once that's set, outline each dollop of the filling with a little bit of water. This helps for the other dough sheet to stick. Gently lay the second length of the dough on top of the first one. Next, shape the dough around each of the mass of the filling to get any air bubbles out, and make a nice tight seal around that filling. The final step here is to cut each ravioli out of the long sheets of dough. You can use a ravioli cutter, you can use a cookie cutter, really whatever you have on hand if you don't have a specific ravioli cutter. And there you go, your first ravioli. But don't eat it yet, we gotta cook them first. Once all the ravioli is cut out, cook them in boiling water for about 3 minutes or until they really start to float. Don't forget, salt your water, just like you do regular boxed pasta. So you could call it here but we've decided to make a little pan sauce, a little brown butter and sage for our ravioli. For the sauce, slowly melt butter over the stove until it starts to brown. Do this slowly so it doesn't burn. Then add the sage and the ravioli and toss. And there you have it. Now it's time to eat. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your hard work. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out our website for the full recipe plus more tips and tricks, and give us a follow on all of the socials. See you next time.